stuff that like was just rudimentary for us back in back in WCW. Like me, you, Konnan, Bagwell, and stuff. We always even made a joke about how finding the hard camera is so important. Remember, like the games we used to play and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and you literally had a generation of wrestlers and of all these guys that nobody had told them this. And I'm like, I find
and we had to have that same conversation with the guys in the first couple weeks of our TV, because once again, how much live TV have these guys done? Zero.
Not a lot.
Mostly zero. Not a lot. But I can remember. But the thing is, guys need to hear it and probably very much appreciate it, because I can remember going to WWE in 1999 and not knowing what bumping and feeding was. That sounds ridiculous when you think about it now, but nobody did that in WCW, and nobody told me about it. I never did the bump and feed. If someone makes a hot tag, I just never did. No one told me. So There's a lot of stuff that guys that have been working for years and years and years just don't know. Like you mentioned with Lucha, with Penta and Phoenix, maybe nobody told them, we got a tag here. This is what we want. And guess what? They're doing it. And you just got to, that's my thing with wrestling that I always hated. When guys would go behind your back, oh man, his punches are the shits. He throws terrible punches. And everybody in the company knew you threw terrible punches except for you, because no one told you. Go behind your back. We don't do that. If there's something that I don't like, and vice versa, please tell me, because it needs to change in the best possible ways. Not being an asshole. Everything else you're doing is great, but this needs to change. And when you tell somebody that's a true professional that, they'll take it to heart and do better.
Bro, and let me tell you, like sometimes in the dressing room, I would have some of the older guys like, oh, well, this guy is doing this wrong, or he's not doing. I go, then go teach him. Then go fucking teach the guy so he does it right. Don't complain.
Right.
So that's always my philosophy. And like you said, you got to be cool about it, because power is to be used to inform and to help, not to abuse and fucking be a dick with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Exactly.
Chris, one last thing that I do want to ask you about AEW. So what are your challenges for next year?
Well, I mean, it's interesting, because I predicted this, and I'm sure it's not a big revelation, but I knew that eventually NXT would become the third brand, it become just another WWE show, which it is. So we're, the war, once again, the war that we're not even really fighting, but it is what it is. It's real.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of emphasis put on NXT to try and take that away from AEW, take the focus away from AEW.
Was it interesting to you, Chris? Was it interesting to you to watch last night's Survivor Series and see how strong they put NXT?
No, because I know Vince. I knew from the start that it was going to be, okay, well, if NXT is losing, then we need to build the NXT names. Because like I said, they didn't have enough star power to beat us.
Right.
People didn't know who they were.
Right.
So now they know who they are because they're winning matches, and they're getting, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch and all those people on the show too. So now they have the star power.
Right.
So how do we deal with that? Just continue to do what we're doing, which are having great shows with great storylines and good promos. And like I said, is everything hitting 100% on our show? No, but a lot of it is, and a lot of it is working. No matter, like I said, I can't control who they put, who goes up against us. It could be the Super Bowl, or it could be WWE, or it could be resurrect John Lennon and George Harrison and do a Beatles reunion and put that up against us. Like, we can't control that. All we can control is what we're doing from a storyline standpoint and from a show. Is our show entertaining? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Are you excited about it? So if we can continue to do that, I think we'll be cool, from a rating standpoint. From an in-ring standpoint, my goal from the start is we got to make stars. That was the number one thing to do right off the bat, and we've done. Look what we've done with MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara. I know he's your boy. Like, all those guys are way bigger names now than they ever were before they came. I'd say even Santana and Ortiz. They're on the show every week, standing next to me. Jake Hager. No one remembers anything what he did in WWE. We built him up to be a killer now too. So there's a lot of guys that we can still build. We got to build the Young Bucks. They're not even half as big as they're going to be yet. Or Kenny Omega. So we just have to continue to make stars. And if we can do that, which I know we can, I think that AEW is going to get even stronger and draw even better ratings and bigger ratings from what we're doing right now.
Bro, did you see the match where Omega beat Phoenix for the world title in AAA?
I just saw some highlights from it. It was amazing.
It was, bro. It was.
It's funny.
Konnan put him over. Konnan put him over because he wants to get a job at AEW. I heard.
Oh, geez.
Do you hear about that?
course he does. Him and Tommy Dreamer in a battle, so you can get the most paychecks from the most companies right now.
If you notice, I put the titles on the Young Bucks and I put it on Omega, and I'm trying to get one on Jericho as we speak. But
you know, I'll just say one thing about Phoenix, that it was incredible. He had a match with Nick Jackson last week on AEW on Dynamite. And, you know, it was just unbelievable, as you would expect, and just all this crazy stuff. But the most ridiculous thing, people don't even notice, the most physically impressive thing to me that Phoenix did was when he straddles the top rope and stands on the second, and then runs down the second rope and jumps to do the Hurricane Rana off the rope.
Yeah.
Walking on the second rope while you're standing over the third. I want anybody to try it. Go give it a try. See if
I bet you Psychosis could do it. Remember, Psychosis was a little bow-legged? He could do it, I think.
Bow-legged, yeah.
Yeah, Psychosis had a little bow-legged thing going on, right?
The guys are so incredibly athletic that stuff like that, people don't even realize it because everything else is so impressive. That, to me, was like, this guy is a freak of nature, both those guys, you know. So it's cool to watch, even watching them. I mean, Penta and Phoenix, they've only just begun to show what they can do. So we also have another thing we have to do is get more promo pieces and video packages to explain who the people are. And people complain about that. A lot of fans complain about it, but like I keep saying, it's only been 8 weeks. You can't build a roster of 50 people in 8 weeks, so give us some time.
I complain about that, but
1,000%.
Chris, I think this is a philosophical difference that I would have if I was in those booking meetings with those guys. Bro, why do guys need 16-minute match? Or why can't you have an 11-minute match and 5 minutes of that time is devoted to development? You know? Because,
like I said, we have to be different. So some matches should go longer. Some of our matches go too long. I agree. But like I said, if you're looking at someone like look at the projects that we've had in 8 weeks. I think Darby Allin, when you see him come out and people dressing like him now, and kids and women putting the face paint on, you know, at first you're like, who is this guy? Then I had him come down and attack me off a skateboard, and then we had the match where he tied his hands behind his back and did all that stuff, and then he did that crazy promo last week where he's in a body bag getting crowd surfed at a punk rock show, and then he has an amazing match with Moxley in the main event that did a great number. He went from nothing to a legit made star in less than 2 months.
Bro, and not only that, listen to this. Chris, I had used him like about 2 or 3 years ago on a big show in Mexico, and he drove like from Atlanta with his girlfriend, okay? And he got to the border. You'll love this. He got to the border. He couldn't get through. He somehow snuck in, okay? Did the show and then left. How awesome is that?
That's the thing. He wants it, man. You know, he reminds me a lot of Jeff Hardy. He's got an X factor to him that people at first go, oh, he's small or this or that. Get into a room with that guy or get into a ring with the guy. He's got a presence. And like I said, now we know, okay, Darby's going to be all right. Sammy Guevara, he came out the first week with a freaking panda head on as a milquetoast white meat babyface. They boot him out of the building. He turns heel with the Inner Circle. He's one of the best heels we've got.
You know why he is?
Awesome.
You know why he is?
Why?
It's because I sit here and I watch him, and I've heard some stories about him and stuff and all that. And when I see the way he acts on TV, I get irritated, like it's a shoot. I'm wondering, like, is this kid like a punk, or is he? Because I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I go, he comes across to me as like a guy to be a punk in real life. I'm getting worked, and I'm supposed to be like an expert in the business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like the guy's like, he's like, I'm like, because I had a revelation. It's like, wow, this guy's a really good heel because he's got me thinking that I would not like this kid if I met him for real.
He's got a natural presence of being a heel in the ring. And once again, we found that. So we'll get everybody. Trust me. I mean, I work on it every week. I mean, Dark Order is another group that I've worked with a lot, even from putting a shirt on Evil Uno. He went from looking like a embarrassingly fat guy, who then looks like he looks weird, like what is this guy all about? Just by putting a cool looking sleeveless shirt on, little things like that. Once again, no one has ever told these guys before that it's not working.
So these indie guys aren't criticizing each other. You know, they're all trying to put it so you know. So it's like when you get them, it's like, wait a second, you know, you don't have the adult in the room telling these guys, you know, on the indie level, hey, that looks like shit. You know,
I don't mind. You know, that's one of the things that for me at this stage, I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear, but I say it in a proper way, I'm trying to help everybody. Right. So, you know, it's like Marco's stunt, the whole thing when when I first heard of him, I was like, dude, there's no way. I don't get it at all. Then I watched him. I saw how he got over with the crowd. I see his role with Luchasaurus and with Jungle Boy. And I'm like, okay, we can do something with this guy. He's so small. He's ruining the business. Really? You know who they used to say that about? Me. And then when I get in the business, you know who they used to say that about again? Rey Mysterio. I remember Asai got yelled at by Tenru's brother-in-law in Japan because Dragon brought him over there to Japan the first time. They were yelling at him, you're an embarrassment to the business. This is embarrassing. We can't put him out there. Then he went out there with psychosis and tore the freaking house down. And right when he came back to the curtain, the same brother-in-law wanted to sign him for the whole year.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things where...
But I still contend that you and Rey Mysterio did kill the business. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the best part is we're still working in it, and you're not. So
that's let me tell you something. There's some voting that's coming out at the end of the year that I'm looking very, very forward. Okay, the Wrestling Observer Awards are going to come out with their end of the year voting, and I insist that I should, at the very minimum, be top 3 for heel of the year for the
Wait,
8 lousy.
Say number 1 now that he's on the show. The top 3.
No. I would definitely be. I'm easily the top heel. Okay, but the biased wrestling, fake news wrestling media, they'll vote for guys like Chris and MJF because they're on TV right now. But nobody can discount the fact that I was easily in the year 2019 the best heel in the business. Would you agree with that?
DI, you know the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame votes. The majority of them come from in the business, so it's going to be from your fellow performers.
Well, first of all, you saw what Lance Storm said about my heel work. He was if I've got Lance Storm in my camp voting me for best heel in the Wrestling Observer Awards, are you going?
I think Lance Storm's brain froze over being in Canada so long.
Man, he's going back to WWE, so maybe you get one more run, brother. And we'll get one more run in me.
My first run.
Hell of a deal.
Chris, a hell of a deal.
Chris,
yes, sir.
What do you want to plug, my brother? What you got going on?
Man, like I said, it's just AEW's been a lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out yet, give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. And man, it's cool talking with you guys again.
Wait, Chris, comments. Did you watch? What's your comment on Bill Ding making an appearance on televised wrestling?
That's tremendous.
Did you see what
That's Lord Cyrus.
Did you see that? Did you watch it yet?
It'll be.
Can you place? When is it on tonight?
Tomorrow night on Access.
Oh my God.
Is there any type of legal action take against Lord Cyrus for stealing your intellectual property?
Well, first of all, Terry Taylor would be the one that would have the beef with that because it was his character.
Don't pawn that up on Terry.
Now, if they put Artie Fact and Doug Hole, the evil archaeologists, on the show, then yes, I would definitely have an issue with that. And plus, if they ever do a Martian invasion,
Chris.
If they ever do a Martian invasion, if the companies do not hire me back as the lead Martian, I'm definitely going to sue. All right.
Okay. Wait. You had Chris. Why doesn't Don just come out? Have you seen how many times he's always has an excuse to put on eyelashes or makeup or a dress or something like that?
I know, man. He's definitely. I'm 20% gay. I think he's at about 37.5 right now. He's getting into the tax bracket.
Wait.
Higher tax
he's
bracket.
Definitely a cross-dresser, right? He's a cross-dresser for sure, right?
He definitely he works those. He is that duck face in every picture he ever takes. If you notice that.
Yes, but so you say yes to the cross dressing, Chris?
I would say so. He spends a lot of time in Thailand too. So I think with his quote unquote nephew.
Yeah,
him and his nephew go to Thailand quite a bit.
I read that you put over the Stephen King movie,
Dr. Sleep.
What was it called? Dr. Sleep.
I loved it.
Okay, let me tell you 2 points of contention with me with that movie. Okay.
All right, tell me.
Okay, do we need to put a spoiler for you, Disco, or no? You're not even going to watch that movie, so no. Okay, number 1, I would have thought it was a little bit easier to kill the vampires than just with a bullet. That kind of did it, because they were supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would any of you have liked a more effective method of getting rid of them, or were you cool with the bullet?
Well, see, I read the book, and I was a big fan of the book, so that didn't bother me. I see your point if you didn't know that I had read the book, so
right.
I guess they were energy vampires, but not immortal. That was the thing. They never claimed to be immortal. They're just energy vampires.
Okay, so then the second one is, wasn't that place burnt down in the first movie?
No, I don't think it burned down. No, because he got stuck in the forest, right? In the maze.
Yep.
I don't think it burned down.
No, I think it
Jojo,
did.
Can you clarify that? Did it?
I don't think so. No. Maybe because there was 2 versions. Remember, There was the film version with Nicholson, and then they did a TV miniseries, and I think on the TV version it did burn down. But if they're going from the book,
TV version, the TV version is directly from the book, because King never liked the Kubrick version, the Jack Nicholson version, because they changed everything.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So let me ask. Okay, what was the movie that Stephen? So you read a lot of Stephen King books?
Yes.
Okay, so is there something to it? Because I saw there was a movie he was in where he was like doing self-deprecating humor. He was like, "Yeah, I hope the finish of this movie or this book is good, not like my other one." That seemed to be a running theme. Is there some sort of joke about some of maybe his books or movies, the ending not being too good or something?
I don't really know. I think most of his endings are pretty good. I've never had a problem. I've read every single Stephen King book and have since I was 12 years old. So,
did you ever see that movie where Stephen King's in it and he makes that quote?
That was It Too.
No.
It Too. What did he say?
It Too.
Yeah. He mocked the writer character and said, like, well, I hope your next ending's better than your last one or something. You know, he was talking to the character stuttering.
Chris, you read all the Stephen King novels? Who else did you read growing up?
Mostly just Stephen King. That was my guy. I read a lot of John Grisham in the early 90s when he was hot.
That's my dad's favorite.
I tried Dean Koontz and a couple of those. But
here's what I read. I read like all the Patterson novels and all the Dean Koontz novels. I read a couple Stephen King's, but they were just it just took me too long.
And he also read.
There's too much reading for the King.
He also read all the Family Circus comedy strips on the Sunday paper. I think.
I just Googled it. So it did burn down in the book, but not in the movie.
There it is.
So there you go.
Okay. All right. So, all right.
Before I go, I gotta say, great talking to you guys. I gotta split though because I gotta take my kids to dinner. But Disco, I think it's been long enough now. I think it's time to actually finally
I like
apology
this.
that you, I think it's time. So
nice.
I just want to say for all the things that I wrote in my book and that I've said on stage and screen, on podcasts and privately to friends, I just want to really say at the bottom of my heart that I'm really, 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 really.
What?
Jeez, do we lose him there?
That's kind of like an apology, though, because he was one word from completing that.
Yeah, he's probably still finishing it right now.
Can you get him back on or no?
Let's see if we can get him back on.
He got disconnected right before he was supposed to apologize. I think that was a word.
Oh, you think he disconnected purposely?
Absolutely.
Huh.
No, but didn't he just say that his daughter and them were going to dinner? She might have yanked the phone out of his hand. So, I mean, bro, here you're always talking about not going with the first thing and researching. Let's find out. Okay, if maybe his daughter didn't yank the phone from him because she was tired of waiting for him.
Right.
Is that a possibility?
I could see that.
Yeah, lover boy.
No, it's obviously you guys worked me again. Okay, you guys are being jerks, and it's just disrespectful.
I want to thank Chris Jericho. He gave us a lot of time, so thank you for being so gracious with your time and coming back to a show that you helped that was on your network, and it was a flagship show. Let's be keep it 100 right here. Thank you for being on Keeping It 100. Boom.